Yay, I see somebody. I always feel weird when you start talking and you don't even see at least one person watching. So, hey, Kate, good morning. Yep. So I always like to see a couple of them. What's up, Dennis? Yeah, it's always weird because I just like to see at least something. Hey, good morning, Sarah. Um, because it's weird to think that you're just going to start talking. I mean, I guess it's different when you're making a like a YouTube video where people are going to see it at some point, but it's weird when you do a live. You just want to be like, hey, I'm talking and there's a zero count, but I see a few more. Good morning, Cindy. So, but yeah, well, good to see some of you this morning. I'm sure more will jump on here as they're waking up. Um, so yeah, so good good morning. This is the mid morning medium chat show with yours truly. And basically, we're just here to kind of highlight some things that have been going on because weeks that I do these Saturday morning shows, I kind of talk about things that went on. So instead of me posting about it, I will spend the time to bring it up here. And we'll kind of dive in because there's been some cool things this week, and I think they'll be kind of fun for you guys to hear about instead of just reading about it, which is why I kind of like doing these morning ones because it's fun that you can see, like I've said in the past, it's fun to you can actually see the expressions. You can hear the tone in my voice when I'm talking about something because it just means somewhat, a lot more when it comes to um, the things that I've been a part of or witnessed or seen, even if it's something that isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it's still kind of fun to see the the emotions and things that go along with what's been happening. So but so if I look super tired and I look a little ragged, there's a good reason for that because we the old mill has been back up and running again from the standpoint of investigation. So last night I did not get home until 4:10, and that's yes FORE 4:10. Good morning, Dana. So I'm a bit tired. Hey, good morning, Rhonda. So if I do look tired, but again, I finally got myself back into, I finally got myself back into coffee drinking again because there was some health issues that I was trying to, uh, you know, overcome to see if it was something with caffeine or whatever and stuff. But this is number two already, so go figure. but, um, Jeff, basically, yeah, it's in runes. So you guys might see a lot of this stuff where I might be wearing more Viking-ish kind of things. I do have that. I don't think I've talked about it on this show before, but I do have Viking in me, which was something shocking to the family. So if you guys have never done a DNA thing, um, we knew of two things in my family, and then it ended up having quite a bit of not a lot, but like 13% or something like that, or yeah, somewhere like close to 13% of uh, Scandinavian. And the neat thing is the DNA that the program I use was through National Geographic, which is closed. But when I did it, and it even sort of pinpoints where, in the regions that, obviously your blood, possibly resided in. And so, yeah, I was up into the Scandinavian area between like Sweden and Norway. So it was kind of like almost like on the border, but midway up those countries. So it was kind of fun. So I've sort of embraced the whole thing of Viking. I mean, they get a lot of bad rap, for things, and so essentially what this is actually saying in Rune is the name of the company that I bought this from, and they sell all kinds of cool Viking, merchandise and things, and they even do replica clothing and stuff. So it basically says the name of the company, which is Grim Frost. And so I have several things from them, t-shirts and obviously some hoodies, and it's just been great. Even though with me drinking the coffee, I'm kind of getting warm already, so you never know. I might take some things off. You never know. No, it's not that kind of show. but uh, so yeah, but I'm in the basement. This is where my office and where I do the Beyond the Silent show is at. So I usually kind of hang out down here, and it can be cool once we're getting into the fall and winter and stuff. So um, and so sometimes it's just easier to throw a hoodie on and stuff like that to stay warm. But I forgot when I drink coffee, I warm up pretty quick, so which is a good thing. Um, But yeah, like I said, the so I was out late last night. In fact, I mean, the last this would have been the third week in a row that we've been back at the old mill. We're going to be back. We're going to continue to be through there through the middle of November. Well, almost towards the actually just past the middle point. So uh, we've got every Friday. The only Friday we really don't have is technically the geez, it's good to have things ready. Um, the 13th, the Friday the 13th, go figure. But that's we're doing a virtual Parafest that weekend because obviously, with COVID and things, we can't do a whole lot of massive gatherings. Um, and so, we're going to have an investigation that Saturday night for a couple of winners. So if you buy tickets to our virtual Parafest, by the end of this month, you get entered into a drawing, and then you get to bring a friend with you. So there'll be, four people that'll come out and get to investigate with us, SWPI. So Saturday the 14th. So, which will be a lot of fun for people, and give them a little chance. Plus, you can't beat that because you're going to have a handful of us, and then there'll be four of you. So I mean, talk about the closeness of having a private investigation. So if you're interested, we have that information up at the old mill site. So we got Jeff Belanger's kind of like our key speaker, and then we have a lot of great locals, Tim Woolworth and Bill Konkoleski, and there's a few others that'll start eluding me, but a lot of great people that a lot of and have seen speak and things. And then so we'll have a few on Friday, several on Saturday, and then on Sunday we're doing a psychic Sunday where we're bringing in. There'll be 5 sessions back to back, and what'll happen is we'll every psychic medium or whatever talent they have will do an hour session. So we have, like, you guys know, XE is going to be doing it. We have Debbie and myself are going to take an hour. Hey, Lisa. And there's Jessica Potter, who's a good friend of ours. She's a medium. And then there's Kim Dotson. A lot of guys have seen her. Her and Justin will be doing each be doing a session each, and they do the Mid Michigan festival or con. So it'll be a great time. That'll be on Sunday. So if you guys can want to check that out, it'll be quick reads. So it's stuff that you guys have seen on other shows that we all do. So it'll be a quick read, just something neat, and just give something, give a little something to everybody that wants to get something. So hopefully you guys can make it for that. It's obviously unfortunate to be a virtual, number seventh year for us, but it's okay. We're doing the best we can. And I think, like most people that, work with, a facility like we do, like the old mill, we want to, give something to them. I mean, they're struggling just like, I mean, I think we all are struggling, and we've all had our hard, times this year. And I've talked about it a little in some ways, but, um, we just want to be able to give them a little something. I mean, and, the tickets are a lot less than they normally are. And, um, but still, just to, you know, we obviously need to do things, and sometimes it's easier just to, you know, it might be just like this. You're watching a video, or live video, but sometimes at least it'll give you something, to think about. And, some of the presentations are going to be fantastic, as they always are. And so, instead of just one loaded day, you're going to have, basically 2.5 days essentially. But it's going to be fun. So, I mean, different, of course, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait for that. So that's the November 13th, 14th, and 15th. So if you guys are thinking about it, you can always, like I said, go to the old mill pages. And if you're interested, because I think you could still even buy just like one day. You don't have to buy the whole weekend or anything like that. And then obviously, if there's some of you that want to even sponsor, you can get your name up, because what we'll do is, in between sessions, we'll throw up everybody that has done some type of sponsorship, and um, you know promote you, obviously, because you took the time to donate a little bit of money to help out the old mill. So, and that's, like I said, that's the thing we do most, is we just want to support the old mill, and keep its doors open. Obviously they rely on some state funding, but then a lot of it comes from people like you guys. And it's always much appreciated. But um so yeah, we so it was was a long night last night. You know, I was. Uh, you never know. That's the thing is when you don't know who's showing up. You know, they tend to. You know, you don't know if they're going to be brand new. You don't know if they're going to be stacked full of equipment, which this group was. They had tons of equipment, and you know, it was neat because they had all kinds of things. They would leave cameras, static cameras up, and things because it's a private and they can do that. And um, you know, at the end of the night, you know, when they were all leaving, everybody was pretty much, you know, excited. They were, um, you know, we're like, man, you know, there was a lot of stuff that happened, and a lot of it, they're hoping that even now, when they start reviewing their evidence, you know, on cameras and their audio recordings, you know, hopefully they got more to just go on top of what they already were like excited about. So I can't wait to, you know, hear. Hopefully they'll respond back to us and share some information. Hey, good morning, Rodney. And so it'll be neat. But yeah, it was a late one, so that's why I'm tired. I probably I'm better because I've been up for almost an hour and 20 minutes now. So I got a few hours of sleep. So you know what do you do? But it's fun. It's great to be back. I did want to share a couple of things, you know, and then if there was, you know, you guys have some questions, you know, we can get to that. Good morning, Kathy. Uh, this week, you know, was a pretty good week for me. There's a couple of things that you know I've shared, you know, on the Beyond the Silent show, and sometimes I've shared in my post. And it's been a little while since this has happened, but you know, when it does, you know, it always you know, granted, you know, I got to experience it, and there's some people that are, you know, listening and that have, you know, had these moments. But if you haven't, you know, and this might be the first time you've heard me talk about it or even knew of anything like this, you know, hopefully this will kind of be a wow moment for you. But uh, uh, 2 days in a row, now I, you know, I talked about a little bit before where, you know, I'm finally back on site working again, just doing a little bit of a temporary different job. And so you know I'm gone most of the day and then I come home at night. And what was it, I think Wednesday was the first moment, which was cool because I worked on site Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I had to fill in for our because I do, you know, conference room support, if you guys don't remember that. And so we have a help desk that, you know, manages our tickets and things, which, you know, obviously isn't a whole lot because of things are shut down still for the bulk of it. But we're still, you know, tackling old tickets that are open of rooms that were broken. And so I'm a backup to the help desk. And so, you know, I got to sit there and watch the emails and don't really have to watch the phones, but you know, you got to do some, you know, ticket updates and things like that and schedule stuff. And so I got to be home Thursday and Friday, which was kind of a cool break because I didn't have to like wake up so early and get ready like I, you know, like normal. And but Wednesday, you know, I got home and, you know, I was excited because, like I said, I get to, you know, sleep in just a tad. And it was, can't remember which room it was in up there, but and again, this has happened to me at various times throughout the year, and it was just such a great moment. But I was sitting there, and or I again because they all start to happen, and you just I start to omit the details because I keep for, you know, they happen, and I just get excited about it because it's always like yes, you know. But anyway, as I keep dragging this out, so I'm standing there, and I was pretty sure I was standing both times. And next thing I know, I start seeing something fly through the air. And, you know, of course, you know, in the right light and it's the evening and things like that, you know, you think it's a piece of dust or something like that. And it ended up being good morning, Sarah. And what ended up happening was I see this and finally, you know, I get a lock on it, you know, and I'm looking at it and sure enough, I mean, within, you know, a millisecond or two, I'm like, oh my God, I know what that is. And it ends up being a piece of an angel, you know, part of the feathers, and there's no reason for it. There's nothing I got laying around that's, you know, just fluffing up in the air. You know, try to keep things somewhat clean, you know, um, but it was just at a weird moment when I was standing and it was like, wow, okay, cool. You know, it's been a while since I've had, you know, little, you know, small little, and it's just really small little bits of it. So it's not like, you know, imagine a big feather, you know, that's just, you know, that's not what happens. It's usually parts of it that, you know, are floating around. And I always love that because it's always a huge warm feeling instantly, and just goes to show you that you do have, you know, angels looking out for you. And you know, again, it doesn't, you know, oh, good morning, Darlene. Um, Glad to see you're here. Hopefully, you enjoyed it this morning. And I don't, you know, I'm not going to sit there and preach about this, that, and the other, as far as things, your beliefs are your beliefs. And, I respect that. So, um, I, you know, I've had, I have guides that show me when they're around and things. And then, even the angels come over just to sort of give you kind of that reassurance, when they're close, or they're, you know, a lot of times it's usually a protection thing, where they're just kind of being like, yeah, we're just going to kind of hang over you for a little bit. And that's usually when I see the feathers. But the Thursday, I was having a conversation with my wife in the kitchen. I do remember this part this week. And we're sitting there just, a couple feet apart. We're just standing near our dining room table. That's it, part of the kitchen. And sure enough, I'm like looking at her, and the next thing you know, I saw something right in between us. And then sure enough, it was a little bit bigger piece of a feather. And I, reached my hand out and I caught it. And this is the part that I always find fun. So if you've never heard me talk about this before, so I'm holding it in my hand, and it was over here close to the crook of the finger. And and she's still talking, so she knows I'm like, I'm seeing something. And so uh finally, like, I had it in my hand, and I slowly moved it close to me to like look at it up close. um by the time I could get it close enough, because like I said, sometimes they're really small, the next thing I know, it completely disappeared. And that's very typical. They show me themselves in a physical form like that, but then as soon as you want to either hold on to it or examine it further, they take it away from you. So it's enough to just get your attention. But it's so fun to have them do that. And even then, right in front of my wife, I'm just like, yeah, see, it's gone now. And she's not, she likes the paranormal stuff, but obviously there's some things that, she doesn't want to have bothering the family, so to speak. So even with that aspect, which is, it doesn't get any better in an angel or a guide. But it was just so fun to see it, and then to have it disappear right in my hand. Because I mean, and I'm like slowly moving, because I've been an investigator for years now, and you try to do things to figure it out, even when you know what it is at that point. But like I said, I couldn't find it, moving my rings and things, and it wasn't there. And so and immediately, even with when we're just talking, I still immediately say thank you for showing yourself, and give thanks and praise to them for that. And you know because I think when that happens, it's neat to thanks, Darlene. Yeah, it's so fun to have that. And like I said, it's when you uh get to experience it, or again, it might not be your thing. Angels might not be something you're into, especially if you might not really religious and things. But um sometimes like that, for me, it's just hard to ignore that, it's something like that doesn't exist. And so, but again, that's just what I've been able to experience. So you know, I can't say that, if you never have it, doesn't mean that they're not around you or anything like that. But again, I with the whole mediumship and communicating, I keep everything open when it comes to all the beings from the light, that are willing to share some information or watch over me, or if I call upon them, it's just it means a lot, and it's always nice and warm, fuzzy feeling to see that. But and one thing, so you probably haven't heard too. One time I tried a test, because like I said, it disappeared out of my hand. And the one time I caught about the same size, it's real small, and I put it underneath. I used to be into NASCAR and stuff like that, years and years and years ago, and I just, once I had kids, it was just impossible to to watch it every week, because it's just you're focused on your young kids. And one time I caught the feather, and I put it in a plastic display case, so it keeps the dust off of the car. So I put it inside there, because I again wasn't watching anymore, but I still had the case there. So I put the feather in there, put the lid over it, could still see it in the case. The very next morning, hi, good morning, Tanya. And the very next morning, when I went over there to double check, it was gone. Now explain that. It's in a case, there's nothing that can blow it away. I saw it, before I went to bed, and then the next morning it's completely gone. That is just remarkable and amazing to me. And so I don't do that anymore, but I did it the one time just because, why not? I mean, if it was there in the morning, it still didn't mean it wasn't, from one of them. It just made it more interesting that, again, they want to get your attention, And when they did it, then that was the way it was. And so they take it back and then, life goes on. So, um, but when those moments do happen, you again, like I said, it's nice to kind of give praise and thanks for that, because they didn't have to do that, and it wasn't like I was calling on them to show themselves to me, like you do, like when you're on a paranormal investigation, you know. But when you do that, it's again, you just have to give thanks because always appreciate everything that goes on. We tend to always forget to say thanks on a lot of different things and a lot of different parts of our lives, and this, whether it's something big or something small, you still be grateful for it. And even if it's a hard lesson about something, you still can be appreciative of it. So um I just love that stuff, and so I just eat it up when things like that happen. And hopefully, all of you, I mean, again, you could be open about things. It doesn't necessarily mean that, the all the nasty stuff is going to come over you guys and stuff, because, again, you're setting an intention, which is something I talk about constantly. If you're setting your intention and you want to see something from a loved one, or, a guide or an angel or something like that, you have to ask for it, and, once you understand how your mind works and how you can set those intentions, and you give thanks every single day for everything that goes on, you start to give out that positive light, and then those positive messages, or whatever it's going to be, is going to come back to you. Now, it might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not even be this year, it could be next year or a couple of years from now. But you start to build up that kind of positive light, again, that I keep saying, to radiate out, and so it's always fun, and again, a lot of people this time of year, well, I shouldn't say this time of year, but this year in general, I mean, it's been said, time and time again, and it's just been rough. I mean, on so many different levels and so many things going on, and we're doing the best we can. And I try never to really post anything negative at all, regardless of the genre, or the topic, because you just sort of add to the whole thing. I mean, like I said, there's so much that we can, complain about and things, but you know, we need to sort of sidestep that stuff. I mean, because it's always going to be there in some fashion. But at the same time, if you start pushing that positivity, and trying to be more thankful, and reach out to other friends, or meet new friends and things, really do what you can, you'd be surprised of what comes back towards you. Like I said, it's been rough. I've had some health issues this year, which is crazy, but there's reasons for all that. And as much as I didn't like going through some of it, I'm still grateful that nothing was serious. But at the same time, learning experiences, and taking better care of myself, and again, just still trying to reach out to people. I know it gets difficult, because I can have sometimes several messages going on at once, and then I could be talking to 3 or 4 people at the same time, different topics and things. And so I try to do my best to respond to people. um, and that's something I should bring up too, is um, my Medium page, which is where you guys are watching it from. uh, no matter what I've done, no matter how I've reloaded it and stuff, if you guys send me private messages there, or even sometimes even just like a comment, so like these comments, so even if somebody watches the show back later today or tomorrow or whenever, and somebody puts a comment in there, it doesn't notify me until like I actually open this page up. And it's weird, because it's like, I've looked at all my settings and everything's turned on, and it should be alerting me. And so I feel bad at times when I find a message, and like Rodney, who's in there, he sent me some messages last couple days, and I'm like, I'm not getting it until either that night or the next morning. And I feel bad, because it's like, it's sometimes hours and hours and hours, and it's like I'm just not getting it. And the phone's supposed to at least put a number on a notification, and it doesn't. And so it's been doing that for almost a year or two now. And luckily on my personal page, it's fine. All those things pop up just like normal. But for some reason, when you create pages like this, they just doesn't hit. And so I kind of shrug my shoulders, but that's why I try to make some effort to um you know check it. And unfortunately, when I am doing my temporary on-site job right now, I'm in so much filth in a way, though, where I can't uh, just grab my phone because my hands are so dirty with a lot of things I'm touching. So I can't just whip my phone out half the time. Plus, I have some upper level management watching a little bit, and so it's I don't want to be caught being the social media guy off to the side, when I'm supposed to be working. So hi, Jody, and so there's a lot of times now if I am going to be on site, I'm not looking at my phone, and so you'll probably know. So if I'm responding to you during the day, that means I'm probably working from home or I'm on vacation, which there is lots of vacation time coming up for me just through the rest of the year. It's great. Every month I'm taking at least a week off. And then there's some sporadic days here and there, but that which is fantastic. I had all this time left over. Okay. I'm reading your note. Yeah, yeah, I hear you, darling. Yeah, it's just so weird. It's so weird. And like I said, you look at all the settings and the things are on and it should be hitting and you should be getting the numbers. And I noticed a couple times if you actually leave the app running on in the background, but don't kill it. I'm big on killing the app so it doesn't, drain the battery quick. And so I will wipe, clean it or kill the app, excuse me, and it seems like if you do keep it on, it starts to show some numbers. It doesn't get them all, but at least they pop up. But again, I'm always big at. I always feel like the one kind of like OCD thing, which I really don't have, but I do when it comes to like battery life. I'm always afraid, like because it's a lifeline. Like I get a hold of somebody in emergency, I'd like if it's dead, I'm screwed. So I'm always watching the battery closely whenever I'm not at home where I can plug it in real quick or something. Um, but it works out. But like I said, if you keep the app running in the background, it seems to help. But and they've just updated that a couple weeks ago, so it's all new, setting. And so I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So I feel horrible, but eventually, my goal is to have a website and things like that. This was supposed to be the year for that. I was supposed to get one, built up, but then it's like it's been such a rough year that I would have spent all kinds of money and then it wouldn't have worked out because I would have been sick and I couldn't approve things or update things and stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna wait till next year and try to get that because then I'll at least have another spot to check things where messages could go. Um, but yeah, good times. So uh, but yeah, other than that, things have been pretty good. Like I said, just trying to get into the flow of stuff, and even then, I've had several cases come up, and so I've been trying to do some more remote work when I'm feeling not so exhausted, which is rough, and but I I fit it in when I can, as much as I like to do more, but the day job stuff does pay the bills. And again, a wife and two kids that, they're not they're well, my daughter's self-sufficient enough, but she's still pretty young and my son needs a little bit more care. Um, but so there's things that I got to pay attention and devote my divide up my time as much as I can. I mean, I was gone from 5:30 last night till 4 this morning, and then here it is. I get a few 4 hours of sleep, and then I come down here, and now I'm doing another show. So I'm always grateful for them allowing me to step away for a little bit. And in a weekend, at least there's more time in the day that once I'm done here, I'll go spend the rest of my day with them and hang out and chit chat about whatever. But cool. Yeah, no problem, Darlene. Yep. Yeah, you can hit me here. Like I said, if I don't respond right away, you'll know why. But if you hit me up this weekend, that well, the rest of today, Sunday, but or no, it's Saturday. Jeez, oh Pete. See, that's the lack of being tired right there. I thought for a second there, I thought it was Sunday. Woo. Okay, here, sip of coffee. Let's change this up. But uh yeah, so sorry about that. Like I said, guys, for those that have just joined a little bit late, I was out till 4 in the morning. I got home at 4 in the morning from an investigation that we were hosting at our old mill and museum in Dundee, Michigan, and it's a place that our team SWPI, host public and private events at. So I'm tired, and I've only got like 4 hours of sleep. So, but most times, 4 to 5 hours, it can be typical for me anyway. It's just kind of weird to get it so late or so early in the morning, I guess I should say. Typically it's 10 o'clock at night till 2, 3 in the morning. Um, but it's it is what it is. You know, I'm old. I like to say I'm old, but if I tell you my age, which I'm not afraid to, most of them are like, "Oh, you're still young." So, but I'm in my early 40s, and so it's fun to when I say, "Man, I'm getting old," and you'd think that I'm really old with this thing. I mean, with the gray beard and stuff. I mean, how much older do I have to look? But you can see it. I'm still okay up here. The sideburns and stuff, showing a little bit of wear and tear, but it's okay. Um, but this stuff started, going really white um, when I was in my 20s. So, because a lot of times I'd have 5 o'clock shadow, and you could start seeing those little suckers in there. I'm like, oh, come on, man, I'm in my 20s. But thanks, Rodney. And but it's it's all good. So I mean, but so even being in my early 40s, I still got a little bit of still got some gas in the tank at times. I bet you there will be a moment this afternoon, probably somewhere between 2 and 3, that I will probably have I will struggle big time with keeping my eyes open. So there will probably be at least a 15-minute nap in my the afternoon time frame. So who knows? If you're messaging me then, and I might not get it at that point because I'll be out cold. But that's kind of normal. So, um, uh, yeah. So if there, I'm just curious. I mean, granted, I wasn't sure. I almost was going to come on this morning and be like, if I can get a half an hour into the show, I'd be ecstatic because I didn't, wasn't sure if I'd be dragging um, or not. But I seem to be hanging in there. So um, the show was never ever set to be on a specific time. I mean, no more than an hour and things. But if it was only 15 minutes, I'd do 15. But if I can get 30, that's great. And if I can go, like right now, it's just past 10, Eastern time, and so if I can get to 10:30, that's even greater. But at the same time, I like to, again, the whole point was for all of us to kind of come together. We're all, we just got through the week. Let's just, sit down, let's talk, let's share some, stories, and you guys can certainly ask questions at any point, because again, I never wanted to set this particular show, with a lot of serious topics. I mean, it might happen at some point, where it's just like something I really feel I need to share with you guys, um, but most of it is just that during the weeks I'm doing these shows, I just wanted to kind of bring some information to you guys that, what, I've experienced during the week instead of always posting it, so that way you can actually see it and just change things up a little bit. I mean, granted, I'm not doing anything that's groundbreaking that hasn't been done before, but um, I just felt it'd be kind of fun to come on and talk to you guys and just share, and again, make us all feel positive, and some people aren't morning people, so they're waking up and they're just kind of groggy and they're moaning and groaning, which I certainly could be right now because lack of sleep, that does it to you. But but I see, you talk so much you get a frog in your throat. But yeah, so it's just geez, I can't get it out now. So sorry. um Yes, I mean, I guess I should say real quickly, let me back up a little bit more real quick. Just in regards to the investigation last night, a lot of the guests, have never been there before, and they had a great time. And this is one part that it's been going on for the last couple of weeks, and it's been kind of strange that, um, and what I'm about to say, might sound like, he's probably full of himself, or he's, his head's growing a little bit big, but there's a reason for it. And there's a reason why I'm going to tell you about it. And I've talked about it over the years too. Oh, there it is, guys. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that. Oh my gosh. Live. Oh boy. I can't find it. It's disappeared. I don't know if it caught it. It was probably right in this area. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch the show at the 33-minute mark. There was an angel feather right there, guys. Wait, wait. Oh, I got it. You're not gonna be able to see. Oh, oh, oh. I got it. I probably not gonna see. Gotta hold on tight. Oh man, I don't think you guys are gonna see it too well. It is literally on the tip of my thumb. I have no idea if I'm gonna get this on camera or not. I'm gonna try. You might see a little. Let me see. I don't know how to get it in a better view. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, there you go. See it? Yeah, there you go. So it's on the. You can see it in the tip of my finger right there. There you go. That is part of an angel feather right there. And like I said, sometimes you would think that it's going to be this big thing, but oh my gosh, that is so cool. Here, I'm trying to get a better. Sorry, I got to go opposite directions, but that's it. That's exactly it, right there on the show. Let's see if I can get it. I'm gonna move over here. Uh, you kind of saw it there. I'm trying to get it between my fingers. I'm sorry. There's a little bit. You can see the little fuzzy thing right on the edge of my nail, or right on the top of my, right up there. Wow. All right, so we're gonna put that little feather right there. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and I'm gonna try not to blow any air that way. But what? See, see what I said? I said, you know, always be thankful for that. And see, that's gonna get me emotional now. Um, that is so cool to happen with you guys live on the air. Oh my gosh. Um, I would have never expected that. Um, I'm gonna keep looking down. I'm gonna start crying. um, wow. It's that's pretty cool. Um, geez, that's gonna take me away. Okay. Um, wow. So that will probably not be there. I don't know how much longer it'll last, but like I said, I keep watching it to see if it'll just appear. So it's laying. So my laptop is the is where I have everything set up. So it's got the camera built in, and I can right into the chat room and things like that. So um, that is super cool. I hope. I mean, it looks like Rodney saw it. I mean, I'm hoping. Like I said, I'm going to have to go back and watch and see if you can see it falling, because again, it just caught me. And I do have dust. I mean, I don't clean this desk that often, and some the other shows I've been on and things. If I like blow, like exhale too much or something like that, you'll see poofs of dust fly up, and they'll start flying through and things. Now that I use a green screen behind me, uh yeah, yeah. Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Um, and I use a green screen behind me now because I wanted to kind of change it up to where I had different things, and I do use other. I have some backdrops to put up to it, for different shows and stuff. But um, I since I've been doing this, it hasn't been as much activity with the dust, because with the background it kind of blurs it out. You can see like there's some fuzziness over here because of the way the screen is behind me. But um, that is so cool, man. Uh, it right, and like Darlene said, it definitely, know that you have them looking out for you, and they're supporting you, and of course loving you, and you know like I said, I said it earlier, I talked about the fact that I want to present more positivity and more love in general. I really didn't use the word love, but I mean that is so true. I mean, we spend so much time like just woe is me, and yes, you can have your moments and days like that, but at the same time, you know you got to know when it's time to stop doing that and turn it around and start moving forward. And I talk about that in post, through when I do have chances. And uh, you know we need it more than ever right now. And I think that's why I do this show, and I do my show with my friend Debbie on Wednesday nights. And we just try to get us away. I think that's the things that we look for. There's not a lot of stuff that's out there, and I'm not saying on Facebook, but I'm just saying just even in general, like on TV and stuff, that we're not seeing a lot of things that are just pushing this stuff. We're kind of seeing the the other way, and that's kind of a bummer, because I mean there's so many of us. I mean, and I'm saying really every one of us, we're all got something to share, and we all have things that we can provide, to each other. And it of course saddens me that we can't have moments like these where we can share something like this, where a true message appeared while we're doing the show and right in front of you guys, and you get a chance to even experience that with me. And then even then, you know to have me literally tearing up, because it just is like, you know you see this stuff happen, and you want others to experience it too, because um, it just gives you that feeling. And luckily it's tears of joy and things like that. But um, I it's that's cool. I mean, I would have never thought that this would have happened, in a setting like this. But I'm going to cherish this show for a long time. Might even have to pin it to the top of the page for a little bit until the next one, which um we still have a little bit of time left. But the next show will be, on Halloween. So uh, that is going to be cool. So this is a bi-weekly show, unless I need to move it, or um, there's just something that really needs to happen, then it'll pop up again. But for now, it's just going to be continuing to be bi-weekly. So the next one will be Halloween. So I definitely will do a little bit more of a creepier background, because it's Halloween. How could you not? But who knows? Maybe we can talk about some stuff. Wrapped around Halloween and things like that. But I started to think, I said, that might be kind of fun to um, dress up or something like that, or paint my face up or something. Who knows? That's still a couple weeks away, but we'll see. We'll see what I feel like. If not, it'll at least be a creepy background. But yeah, so it's still cool. Yes, it's still sitting there. So like, if I keep looking down, I'm not trying to, not look at, you, everybody, but I just keep watching to see if that feather's going to finally just go. But because I'm watching it so intently, it's probably why it's not moving or disappearing yet. But it will by the time, I guarantee, when I close up and I pack everything up, and it's going to be gone before I know it. So, but I hope, and I said this earlier, but I hope everybody's having a good week. I hope, you're finding some time. I know, a lot of us that are Midwesterners, and the temperatures are finally getting cooler. I've seen some friends, because I live close to the Ohio Michigan border in Ohio, and a lot of 'em, I've seen some Michigan friends that are way up north, have had their first snowfall within the last day or two. So it's like, oh boy, here it's on the way. Not that I'm not against that type of weather. I'm not a big fan of ice. So if you ever hear me talk about ice, I like ice in my drinks, but I don't like driving in ice. All right, Rodney, you have a good one, buddy. And I so I'm not a big fan of driving on ice. Snow I'm okay with, but yeah, ice is I don't think anybody does. Hey, good morning, Debbie. And I so it's one of those things that the weather's changing, but we're also seeing the fall colors are really starting to change. I mean, I think you know it depends on your area and things like that. I think we're finally, to me, where I'm at, I think we're pretty close to the middle of it. So a lot of stuff is finally turning. I mean, I still have a tree in my front yard that's pretty much still green, um but it seems to be a little bit later. Hey, Sarah, good morning. And um, so that one's still got some life in it. Some of the stuff in the background have pretty much all are finished up. So that's kind of fun to see. But if you haven't, and you're okay with some cold, definitely get out there. I mean, even if it's just to drive around the neighborhoods, or I think that's a cool family thing. I think we used to do that a couple times. It's just the family would get in the car and we go drive around. Little Sunday drive, and just kind of see things. And especially this time of year, if you can get to some of the patches of woods, and just see the leaves and see how amazing the colors are. Because like everything you see over here and over here, how cool is that? I mean, it's we never get to see this as long as we do. It's either a bunch of sticks that are just empty throughout the winter, or in the spring and summer it's just green. And so it's you got so much time where it's just emptiness, and then you get all this greenness, and then you barely get to see the colors that last just barely like a month or so. And It's always sad. You wish you could see these colors a little bit longer because it's so pretty, and beautiful. You know, uh, so if you haven't, definitely do that because that's a big thing for me. Is get your butts out there. Oh, that's great, Lisa. It is a cool time of year. Literally cool, as I just said. But it's just fun. It's fun to again things. I just saw dust. So see, some of the people that just joined didn't get to see what was happened in the 34-minute mark, but there was dust that just went by my shoulder. So big difference than what happened earlier. Um, but those that have just tuned in, if when the show's over at post, you want to go back to about the 33-minute mark and start watching there because you're going to see something that happened live, which was amazing. But now that I've been going back up to work and stuff, which you have to drive up to Michigan to do that. So I have an hour and 10-minute drive. Now, in the morning, I'm not seeing anything because it's pitch black. But on the way home, there's obviously the expressway has lots of trees on either side. So I do get a chance to experience that. Even, going by at 70 some miles an hour, you still get a chance to see a little bit of the colors as at least at one point in the day. Um, so, but get out there and do that because like I said, that's another thing that people forget. Even though we're in a transition to where things are going to go dormant and quiet and things, but it doesn't stop the energies from flowing. You know, we there's so much that our ancestors did growing up that they lived off the land and they got to experiencing things. And I've done classes, several different types of classes, over the years, and didn't matter what class it was. When you spend even just a weekend in the woods where you're pretty cut off from things, not necessarily like a real super busy campground, but ones that are a little bit more rustic and things, but that nature opens itself up to you. And if you open yourself to it, the changes you feel from an energy standpoint are pretty wild. Because I used to come home like on the Sunday or something like that, or whether it was a whole week or the weekend, and you get home and you're just like, wow, I just have this kind of like buzz going for me. It's like, I should be like super exhausted. I mean, which you are a little bit, but you just what's going on. And then you realize that when I just started developing a little bit more and getting into spiritual things and learning about a lot of my spiritual bringing, for those that are new, are more Native American, even though I'm not. But I've learned a lot from Native Americans and have really adapted a lot of what they did. And so when I get to experiencing things, I'm really close with the earth, Mother Earth. And there's so much that you can learn just even by sitting out there. Some of you that know me on my personal page, because I don't have a lot, I don't do a lot of things on this page, but maybe I will. I think I have once or twice. But when the snow does finally hit, I go out and I do a snow walk where I walk barefoot through the snow for a amount of time. And that's a completely surreal moment for me. And it was something that my guides told me to go do. And a lot of people think you're crazy because it's cold and it's icy material and stuff. But I pushed that. I learned how to push a lot of those things behind you, because yeah, it's cold, but you move on to the next part of the moment. And so I go out there and I'll walk in the snow, and I usually will post it of me walking around in the snow. And just that feeling is great. And that's a part of grounding. And this is the point I'm getting at, as we get close to the end of the morning show here. We're always afraid of, a lot of people don't want to get dirty. They don't want to be, touching this and that and bugs and all that stuff. And, but because we've not done that anymore, I think that's why there's some little problems and things that we've all occurred, because, we are in shoes all the time, and, we're disconnected. And again, Mother Earth really does a number on you if once you let go. And I've experience it all the time. And again, I can't make you guys do things like that. And I wouldn't recommend doing a snow walk for the first time, unless you just want to like go out there and step in it real quick. But you're going to get cold and then run back in and be like, that's crazy. But I take it to a whole nother level and completely let go. And I'll go out there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it's just completely a different thing. Okay. I hear you, Darlene. Yeah. Yeah, the 6 feet of snow can be a little rough. Yeah, especially when you gotta clean it up and stuff. Yeah, it's always a pain. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've been the last couple of years, we've, been pretty fortunate, here in Michigan and Ohio, and it hasn't been too crazy, which, of course we'll take. But yeah, it's been nice when it's not been too overwhelming. And yeah, 6 feet is a whole another thing to deal with. But I guess in some way you get to experience, you get used to it to some degree. But 6 feet still no joke to mess with. And I couldn't imagine how long that kind of cleanup would take, snowing all night or snowing for a couple days, and holy smokes. Yep. So, but yeah, but in general, it's nice to look at that stuff. And even then, put your hands in that stuff. I mean, even if you open up your door, put your hands in the snow and just, understand where it came from, and there is a cycle to everything. And, it's obviously water, from up above, and, it's frozen by the time it gets down there. But even that stuff, just holding it in your hands for a few minutes just to absorb it is something, okay. I know. I know. I believe it. But I you know, but like I said, there's some things that I've done that I've taken classes that have helped me adapt to that situation where you are really you really get into it. And doesn't get me wrong, I wouldn't stay out there, I wouldn't stand in the snow for hours, not that not I'm not going to go that far. I don't need to go that far because I open up quick enough to where I get that information, that energy, whether it's just kind of like a boost. Again, it's sometimes it's like this, and I guess, since we're on it and we got about 8 minutes left. um Darlene, you might get a kick out of this then. uh but the first time I ever got the message to do the snow walk, or grounding, and I'll say grounding too, because you can do that even now. Still, you can go out and walk in the in your yards, your grass, and when I got the message, I'm like, well, this is kind of weird. Now, you've heard of people. I mean, I've known of that. I took a class, where we walked around for a whole weekend without shoes on, and that was kind of cool. But it was summer, and then and there was reasons for that, but I won't go into that here. But and then for fire walkers and things like that and stuff. But I when I got this message, it was November, late November, something like that. It was right around our Thanksgiving and stuff. But you know, it snowed and I just kept getting this burning thing. You got to go outside and walk barefoot. And I'm like, what are you crazy? Even though I already, I could handle it, but I just never thought of it. And so I get this, kept hitting me in front. I'm like, I got to go outside. And my wife's like, what do you mean? I'm like, are they telling me to go walk barefoot? She goes, what? And I'm like, yeah, I got to go walk out barefoot. I'm like, okay, go for it. So, and there was probably about like an inch or two. So nothing, deep or anything. Cause it was still some of the earliest actually accumulating snowfalls. But I go out there and I'm barefoot and I just kind of walk around because I got a back deck, and I just walked around the deck, a couple times. And, I, went into my techniques of, pushing the cold aside. And, I walked around, for a couple minutes, and, I came back in, and, you come back in, then you finally feel it's weird. You come back into the heat and the warmth, and you could feel how cold it was. But at the same time, you dry your feet up, and for the next several hours up until bedtime, because this was probably like 8 in the evening or something like that. And for the next several hours, I had this buzz like I drank like a pot of coffee in like 30 seconds, or downed a bunch of energy drinks. But this energy just was off the charts. And I mean, my wife's just like, what are you? I mean, like she thought, like, did you drink something that you? I'm like, no, but that walk outside did something to me. And that was sort of even I think that's the first time I really noticed that even with like snow and walking in it, can still give you that feeling like you could during the summer and things with grounding and stuff. So I was just taken back by it. And so now it's always been a mission to go out there. I do have restrictions on it because I have tried it at different temperatures. Um, and there is points where, and Darlene, I don't know if you guys use Fahrenheit or if you're still using Celsius or not, but um, uh, for us, once it starts getting below uh 30, 30, once it gets into the single digits or below zero for Fahrenheit, um, the snow begins to feel like daggers, like knives literally pointing straight up. And it's one thing to ignore the cold, but then when you feel like you're being completely sliced to shreds, so you're like a paper shredder kind of feeling. Would typically will not go down once it starts getting into basically the low 20s because it was a whole different kind of pain. The cold was fine, but it just felt like, again, just all kinds of nails or knives just pointing straight up. So it's just every step just felt like you were just being stabbed. So so there's limitations that I will do, and but yeah, up through at least mid to upper 20s through the low 30s, where the freezing mark for us, and whoo, and I will do that, no problem. But yeah, not that okay, so there you go. So you kind of see where I'm getting at then of where I can go to, but yeah, it's yeah, there's a point where it's not that safe to do anymore. So so I always tell people, I said, do it early on in the winter, don't do it late in the winter, because especially in the into the new year, January, February are the worst months to try to do that. Because even if it's been cold, long enough, it's not like the ground's changed much. So even if you get a warmer day, you still have it still could be pretty rough on you. But yeah, I try to do what I can through November and December, as the weather develops and stuff. So, but I love it, and so like I said, you guys will see it. I'll probably do some post on here when we finally get some decent snow. I mean, right now I think we're still good, because I mean we've only had a couple times where it's been threats of freezing warnings right now, freeze warnings, but right now we still don't have anything projected in the near future. So, but most of the time it's usually November when we see some of the first snowfalls around my area. But so but yeah, so I mean right now, if you have those that do have decent weather, if you still can get outside, maybe bundle up, but even get to the parks. Again, we talked about walking out into the seeing the fall leaves, and going to your local parks, and do a quick lap around it if there's a track or something like that that winds through the woods, and just do that. Walk slowly, don't walk like you're in a race. It's another thing people do is they just, I mean, unless you're exercising, go for it. I'm not going to stop you there, but if you're going to do it just to kind of be there in the moment and enjoy things, go slower. Nature moves slow too. And if you move slow, you might be surprised at what else you might find. You might see things that if it was a park that you've gone to several times, you might see things that you didn't know existed there. When you walk slower and you slow down to how nature works, you will, you might see animals might be a little bit more friendly in the sense that they might be, running away from you. Instead, they might be just still doing their scavenging, or doing whatever they normally do. And so, I do that a lot. I take my time when I go through the woods if I can, and just enjoy it. I used to do some YouTube videos, and this year kind of really tore that up, and trying to be careful. And some of that stuff was all shut down where you couldn't go to anyway. And when I would shoot videos, I'd go to this one park, near me, and I would just be up there and walk. Yeah, I'd walk a little bit and I'd stop and just look around. And sometimes because again I'm shooting video, so I'll shoot B-roll where I'm taping things, and I see something that's kind of cool that sticks out, whether it's growth of something or whatever, or animals, chipmunks, I mean, just squirrels and deer and stuff that just, you slow down, those they will be right there and you'll see them. So, but so yeah, so I got like about a minute left, and like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your mornings, and have the rest of a great day Saturday, since I do remember what it is now. It's not Sunday yet, but um, and by the way, the feather's still here, guys. It hasn't moved yet. So I'm gonna have to place it off to the side, because then watch it. Um uh but other than that, yeah, so thank you all for being here this morning. I hope this gave you some things to think about. I think you know give you some something to smile about, and feel good. And if you get a chance today, or this week, and get outside a little bit before it gets too cold, and just walk around and see things, even if you're just going to stand out in your front or backyards or something like that, and just take a couple deep breaths and just enjoy it. we do miss a lot, again, because we move so fast with things. Even this year, there's still things that have been going on and we still feel closed up, which I understand. But don't hesitate to, go out there and enjoy what is around us and things. So, wow, that's neat, Darlene. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. 25 of them. Holy smokes. That's awesome. And that's the thing is, and you get a chance to see that, and it's not something normal, and then it's like, hey, I was there, I got to witness it. That's awesome. Love that stuff. But so yes, so have a great rest of your Saturday and Sunday. Have a great week. I will definitely be back on Halloween for this particular show. If you guys are interested in the other show I do with my friend Debbie, that's on Wednesdays now, because we used to be Mondays, then we went to Tuesdays, and now we're on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays at 7 p.m. the show is Beyond the Silence Radio, so you can pull that up, Beyond the Silence Radio. We're going to be talking about this show this week is about, we're kind of like spooky things on Halloween, some of the folklore and some of the weird things that happen, with Halloween and things. So that's going to be this week's topic, which will be fun. And yeah, so other than that, if you guys any questions or anything like that that you didn't get a chance to, or something is burning, definitely hit me up. Again, if I don't see it right away, don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just because I just didn't see it because it didn't notify me right away. But hit me up for sure, and I'll answer those as soon as I can. And yeah, it'll be a good time. And um, thanks again. Enjoy it, be there, be open to it, and hopefully you can even share some comments later on. That'll be great, Debbie. Let me know how it looks out there. Yes, let me know how the how the fall leaves are looking over there. That'd be great. Like I said, I don't get to see it that much, but let me know. And all right, gang. Well, as always, again, I can't say it enough. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for supporting, and I will definitely see you again soon. So this was the Mid Morning Medium Chat Shows with me, the Black Swamp Medium, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Or if you're gonna check out the Beyond the Silence show on Wednesday, I'll see you there. So with that said, all my love, light, and peace to each and every one of you. Have a great day. Thanks.